Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, Facebook family. Hope everybody's doing great this Sunday. It's Kristi, Saul, the co-founder of the Post+Institute and the leader of the Parenting Inner Circle and head parenting coach for the Post+Institute, coming at you all live on this Sunday. I want to talk to you guys about self-care today. Self-care as a parent. Woo! Self-care as a parent of a child who's experienced trauma. Self-care as a parent of a child who's had trauma, who has special medical needs. Let's just layer it all on there, right? Because as I think about it, oftentimes there'll be a post that I make about self-care and the importance of it, and everybody's all for it. And then I also hear lots of people saying, if only I could get 10 minutes, if only I could get 30 minutes, if only. Hey, Kirsten, good Sunday to you as well. Self-care is so important because, gosh, without it, we get grumpy, we get fatigued. We're not at our best. And, a lot of people are really counting on our calm. And when we're not taking care of ourselves, we're just not at our best. Our best self is not available. So today I'm going to talk about respite. So first of all, let's just talk about this. Self-care comes in a lot of different forms. It can be, when we're talking in book study, it can just be literally 30 seconds of learning how to just quiet your mind and calm your own body. That's 30 seconds of self-care. 3 deep breaths, 30 seconds of self-care. Sometimes it's when you step out of the shower and you put the lotion on your hands and you're putting it on your body just to say a prayer of gratitude. Thank you for my strong body. Thank you for my strong legs, for my strong heart that keep me going. Just tiny moments of self-care can make all the difference. But then there's also respite. So I want to talk a little bit about respite. Sometimes I hear families, they're scared. It's scary to put your child in someone else's hands sometimes. And sometimes we're scared because our children have unique needs. And so we're afraid that in our absence, they're going to have behavior challenges. I've heard people say, yes, but it's worse when I get back. I've heard people say, I can't find anybody. I can't find anyone that really connects with my child. And so I'm just going to share with you guys the very long process. It was a very long process that I went through in order to be able to have respite, to be able to take. Last week, I took a weekend away. Last week, I took Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I came back home on Monday, and I did not take care of anybody but myself. Yeah, I see a little heart popping up. Thanks. Right? I didn't take care of anybody else's needs but my own for 3 whole days. And I know you guys can really understand the value of that, to be able to come back and feel just chilled, to feel refreshed. To feel deeply rested is such a nice feeling, and we don't get it very often when we are so busy taking care of our loves. And so the process I went through, it started actually several years back. The very beginning of the process was when I became a single parent, really. And so a lot of good things have come out of that. And so I just want to, put that out there that, sometimes a situation that you think is going to be your undoing, it's going to be like the worst thing that you go through, ends up being the places where you grow and you blossom and amazing things happen. And so first I want to let you guys know, one of the benefits of respite is not just for your own self-care. But our kids need to know, one, they need to know their own capabilities. And they also need to know and have the experience that other people in the world get them, that other people in the world like them and enjoy them and love their company and find their quirks just as amusing as you find their quirks. So the first thing that I did in the process was to just open myself up to the possibility. So I just kind of opened my heart up to the possibility that there would be some people in the world who could take care of my daughter and her special needs. So I opened my heart up to that possibility. And within a pretty short period of time, I met a neighbor. She was a teenager. And she kind of was attracted to our house too. So she kind of came over and would hang out every now and then. And so then I started inviting her, and she'd come and hang out for a couple of hours, and I'd be there. We'd all hang out together. And then I asked her if she wouldn't mind babysitting for my daughter Marley for a couple of hours every few days. And so we began a process where every couple of days I'd make arrangements. I'd text her or call her and say, hey, do you have time to come and sit with Marley? And I'm going to go to the gym. And so by this point, Marley was familiar with her. She was familiar with Marley. And I'd make sure there were snacks out. And if they wanted to, I'd check with Marley and see if she, maybe wanted to do a little craft project or something. And I'd get everything out and set up, and I would go to the gym, and I would tell them, text me if you need anything, call me if you need anything. I'd get maybe an hour into it, and I would send a text to check on them. So the point being that they could contact me at any time. At any time, I was in a position where if I needed to drop what I was doing, I could. And I was open to that. There was no like, oh my God, I don't hear from them. I hope I don't hear from them kind of feeling. It was, if you need me, you need me. And that's okay. In fact, I kind of predicted, this is all new to us. So just having my heart open to allowing this process and knowing that I'm still the emotional regulatory figure. I've put my child in the hands of somebody who is safe, who's old enough to know how to call the fire department and get people out of the house. That's pretty much my only expectation. I didn't care if there was going to be a mess. I didn't care if they sat and watched TV all day, right, those 2 hours. I really didn't care, because all I was focused on was, you guys are safe? Excellent. I wanted her to hopefully have a good time, for it to be pleasant. I didn't want to pick somebody who was going to be hyper task oriented. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to, let's do your homework. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted it to be relaxing. I wanted it to be as much a break for her as it was for me. And so that's how I first began the process of respite. So now Marley is 15, and actually she's in my house. I'm sitting here in the car doing my Facebook Live, because we've got the 2 dogs and they're pretty hyper, and we've got Marley, and I didn't want to, I wanted to just get on and get with it without having a lot of interruption. So she's 15 and she's able to stay by herself now. She knows how to get out of the house if there's an emergency. She knows how to call 911. She knows she can text me. She can call me anytime, anywhere I am, and I will drop whatever I'm doing to be of help to her. She knows how to get food. She knows how to take care of herself, right? She's got the basics down. So it's pretty awesome to see her developing and maturing along those lines. So I've been able to accomplish weekend respites now for a couple of years. And what I've done is I have a couple of really good friends, and I've also got Brian's mom, Faye, who a lot of you have gotten to know because she's always watching the Facebook Lives. So I have somebody come stay at my house. And that's not to say your kids shouldn't go stay at other people's houses. I think that can be wonderful. It's a great experience to see how other people do things, but know that it's going to be really exciting. I mean, that is really exciting. Like, oh my God, you're not going to believe where they keep their canned goods. They might have some behavior challenges because it's very disruptive. But that doesn't mean there's not great value. Trust me in that. Sometimes the things that are the most disruptive, there's just amazing growth and amazing value in those experiences. But because Marley's mobile by wheelchair, spending a weekend at somebody else's house is just not as comfortable for her. It really, it's just more difficult. And she doesn't have the same level of personal security and personal confidence when she's someplace else. So I bring people to stay at my house. So I've had my very good friend Angela. She's came and stayed with Marley for a weekend before. I've had my former mother-in-law, Faye, Marley's grandma. She comes and stays sometimes with Marley. And I hire a nurse because there are some health needs and there are some challenges that Marley can't do 100% independently, and they're just too personal, that she would rather have a nurse come and help. And so those are the things that I put in place so that I can go and have a weekend. And I share that with you because I think it's important that you be able to find a process so that you can get time for yourself too. And it may start, again, in my process, I started by bringing a person in while I was home. And so it may start with, finding somebody. It doesn't need to be somebody who is super trained in attachment issues or behavior challenges, but somebody who's kind of chill, maybe somebody who's a little quirky and a little creative, who, those kinds of behaviors are not going to be disruptive to them. It's because your kids are going to be a little amped up when you're not there. They are probably going to behave a little differently. And so just to be prepared of, okay, so what's that going to look like? What energy in a person do I need? What level of responsibility am I looking for? And then just open yourself up to the possibility that that person's going to cross your path. Invite them to come to your house for dinner. Invite them to play, play the Wii, play the Xbox, do crafts, whatever you guys do in your family for fun. Invite them to do that with you. Invite them to come watch a movie. Pay them for that time. So I want you to come babysit, but I'm going to be here the whole time because my child needs a process. Our children need a process to get acclimated to these new people. I've never understood. We teach our kids stranger danger, and then, we drop them off at a daycare where they don't know anybody. So scary. I'm reading what you're saying. So scary to leave our kids and also to trust them with our kids. I do have my oldest 28 come to, if I tap this, what's going to happen? Let's see. Come to sit with the kids occasionally. But it's good that you have that starting point, Dan. It is scary. I get it. It's not just anyone. And I think the key that I found was really opening myself up to really being attuned to the kind of energy I was looking for. So really open yourself up to noticing what kind of energy do your kids respond best to in that sort of setting, because you're looking for it to be something a little bit playful. Again, my expectations were nothing but safety. I wanted my child to be safe, and I wanted her to have a good time. I didn't care if my house was a disaster when I came home, because of her dietary needs. I would put certain snacks out. And so, some families, it could be, I don't care what you eat. You can eat all the junk food you want. You can make a big old mess. I really don't care as long as you're safe. So to kind of let go of certain expectations that may be less important, to kind of bump some of the things down that in your day-to-day life, you wouldn't necessarily say that, but in a situation where you're just wanting your kids to be safe so that you can have respite and they can begin building relationships with other people. And I'm not talking about stepping off into a weekend cold, but, again, starting slow, bring somebody into your home slow. That also gives you a chance to get a feel for them. And so to open yourself up, just really put yourself in that position of really observing, and noticing, well, how do you feel around that person? Does that person have a good vibe? Do you feel Do they feel safe? What is your gut feeling? Listen to your gut feeling. By the way, gut feelings are real. That is actually, it's your vagus nerve. It's your vagus nerve connected to your primal brain. So if you get a weird gut feeling about somebody, it's probably because your fight, flight, and freeze, your safety mechanism back here in the back of your brain, is giving you a red alert. That's not your person. That's not the person to watch your children. So to really listen to your gut feelings and go slow. The process that I took, really, this young lady came over, it was probably a month and a half with me being there before I felt like, okay, yeah, I could go to the gym. I could go up and take a walk. I was within 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So if they needed me, I was close by. So it takes a process. I think that was the whole point of making the video, is to, help us look at what kind of process do we want to enter into to find people and attract people into our world who can provide care for our children and all of their unique needs, so that we can begin to have more self-care. Self-care, what can happen when we're not able to do that is we have to compress ourselves. We begin to compress. It's not, I think we have like repressed feelings, we have suppressed feelings, but then there's sort of this place where we have to almost compress our personalities, compress our energy, because we're feeling this sort of tension where we need to just be able to go take a drive and, listen to your own music for a change, or, go to the gym and have a good workout, or go take a good walk. Those are the things I enjoy doing. Go visit with your girlfriends and talk about something other than our kids. Be able to, even if it's maybe you've moved and you're in a new community, you don't have any friends. Maybe you just need to be able to go sit in Starbucks and pull up your phone and have FaceTime with somebody you know and love. Whatever it is, whatever your form of self-care is, and just know that there are multiple benefits. The benefit to you is incredible. The benefit to your children can be quite amazing. Just that process of helping them feel more secure in their community, to feel more secure in their community, to know that they are loved and known by more people than just you. And for people to, kind of see, it's okay that we're messy. It's okay that we're not perfect. Nobody is, nobody is. And your kids are adorable. They're adorable, and they deserve those opportunities just as much as you do. And so that is my talk on respite and the process that I went through. And I hope it's helpful to you. And I'll tell you, just so you know, so I found that person, we did that, and that was great for a while. And then there've been times when, we were very content to do our thing, or, as Marley got older, having friends over became a form of respite as well. And so I like being the house where the kids come to play. So if you're anxious about sending your kid to somebody else's house to play, man, I get that. I get that completely. And so I love being the house where the kids come. It's awesome. I enjoy their company. I enjoy doing things with them. And now that they're older, when they're at my house hanging out, they'll be playing games or in the kitchen making cookies, because they can do it by themselves now. I can go chill in my bedroom and get cookies delivered. It's pretty awesome. And so, maybe even open yourself up to being the place where the kids come to hang out. And that is an opportunity for you to provide that external regulation that they need. They all need it. Your child may need it at a different level or in a different way, but all kids need adults present. All kids need adults popping their heads in and seeing how they're doing. It's not just your kids. One of the things that I find repeatedly is for children who have experienced trauma, who have the more sensitive amygdala, they experience everything all the other kids experience. It just might be amplified. And so the fact that that may be kind of a unique need doesn't mean that all kids don't need it. So, bring the kids over. Be the house where they come and hang out. Be the external regulatory figure that provides them that safety and security. And then you're building a community for your child, and you're creating a circumstance and a situation that when they're 12, 13, 14, 15, then they're hanging out at your house and they're playing games and they're doing their thing and they're going into your kitchen and getting snacks, and you're there laughing and playing with them and teaching them along the way. And so with that, I think I've said everything on my heart about respite and creating space for yourself and creating those connections for your children. I love you guys. I love you. I hope you guys have time on Sunday to take some deep breaths, maybe a beautiful nap, maybe a family meal, maybe just some time to chill and relax and take it all in. I love you all. Take care.